In my last video, I talked about my journey in starting over in my 30s. Today's episode, we're going to discuss the patterns and old habits that I am also letting go on this journey. The woman that I want to become is a person who holds herself accountable and who realizes that there are some things in her life that she could change and that she can work on for the betterment of her life. So with that being said, there's some things that I want to discuss that I do plan to let go of and that I plan to change about myself and the way that I operate in my daily life. And on each episode, we will discuss so many different topics, and I hope that this will help someone, whether it touches one person or a million. I'm just here to help because this is what I went through, and I'm sure others can benefit from it, and we can help each other, uplift each other, encourage one another, and just build a community of support for one another. And of course, none of us are perfect. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give us all some homework, including myself. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I hope y'all enjoy it. Hey y'all. So today I wanted to do a sit down and just do a part two. Well, let me rewind. So as I indicated in my last video and at the beginning of this video, I'm starting this series where I'm basically rediscovering myself, and it's nothing to be ashamed of because I know so many people can relate, feeling lost in your 30s, feeling like you haven't achieved enough or whatever because of what people say you should have. So today I wanted to dive into it a little bit more, and every week I'll have different topics and different things that I want to discuss. So let's get into it. So as y'all can see, I'm home, relaxed, got my iced coffee. This is glass number 2, by the way, don't judge me, but I'm cleaning. I am in the process of doing my guest bedroom, my laundry room, my garage, and my office. And all separate videos of those will be coming. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about my series and what to expect in this series. So it will be more sit down videos. It'll be more of a series of different topics of things that I'm going to let go and start over on, the patterns I plan to break and things like that. And one of those patterns that I really have moved towards anyway, but I just want to put it on the forefront, is not trying to be perfect on camera and just being myself. I noticed with all of my videos that weren't heavily curated, cleaning my house and showing my Bath and Body Works collection, those do really well. So I'm going to continue to do that by mixing it in with my sit down videos and talking about topics of my series. And I have so many topics that we're going to talk about, y'all. I can't wait for y'all to hear it all. But today I just really wanted to dive into breaking old patterns and what I think we can do together, what I think you all should do, and what I think we should do, and what I should do. I'm saying you, me, whoever. And first and foremost, the first thing I want to discuss is breaking those patterns and old habits that are going to prevent you from growing. And what I mean by that is if you look at your life and you're not happy with where you are, you need to start looking at the things that you're doing daily. What are you doing daily that you can change to create the life that you want? So for instance, for me, the things that I realized that I was doing that I didn't like daily was not working out, being on my phone, but not being intentional about being on my phone all day. I have so much content I need to post. Instead of me scrolling, I can be literally editing content and posting it. So the reason, what made me feel like these things were blocking me from doing what I needed to do, and I'm gonna talk more about the patterns I'm breaking. So in the beginning of this year, hell, last year was rough for me, y'all. I want to say July, no, because my daughter had her back surgery in July. And just from there, I just mentally was maxed out. I already was tired. I was already spinning my wheels, trying to overcompensate for what I felt like I didn't have. And when July came and she had her surgery, I just could not handle it anymore. And it wasn't because of her. It was just because seeing her in the state of not being able to do anything, I felt lonely. I felt lost. And then I'm going to be transparent with y'all. In that moment, I had my mom. If my mom was not here with me those 3 weeks in the beginning, I probably would have, I don't even know. But I also felt little support from family members, from friends. And I felt like I needed people here. My baby girl needed here. We needed people. So I felt extremely disappointed, and that took a toll on me. Plus, I was dealing with work situation where I couldn't take FMLA. I don't even want to get into this, but I'm going to just tell y'all a little tidbit of it. I couldn't take FMLA because FMLA, I thought FMLA was a separate allotment of time, and it was not. It's actually you using your own time. FMLA is more so of job protection. So at that point when her surgery came, I did not have any time, because prior to her having the surgery and prior to me making the decision to have the surgery, she had physical therapy, she had appointments she had to visit. I was picking her up from school, so I was using all of my time. So by the time her surgery came, I didn't have any more time. And now I will say this about my job. My job is very generous with the amount of time we get every month. So since I've been there for 10 years, my vacation time I accrue is 6.6 hours every pay period. But that increases based on how much time you've been there. So prior to me being there 10 years, you get the standard amount of time you get is 4 hours per pay period for vacation and 4 hours of sick time per pay period. And then you get personal leave. So I think you start out with 8 hours and then you start out with 16 hours. And then, so I've been there 10 years. So I get 32 hours of personal time at the beginning of our fiscal year, which is in September. By July, that was already gone because I used it on her appointments. So again, you get the vacation time every pay period and then you get the sick time every pay period. So at that point I was maxed out. I didn't have a lot of time. So long story short, while my daughter was having surgery, I had to use all my sick time and then I had to use my vacation time. You heard right. I had to use vacation time. So I was going to do that anyway. And then I ended up just submitting time I didn't have. So my check started being deducted. So moral of the story, because I say that a lot and I don't be really giving the moral story because I go on and on. So sorry if I say that a lot. But basically, my check started to be deducted. So not only was I worried about making sure she was safe, making sure she was getting back to herself, but I was worried about how the bills were going to be paid. And sure enough, things fell through the crack. And I'm going to just leave it at that. And we'll talk about that on another video. I'll dive deeper into that, right? So I just feel like if it's not one thing, it's another. So that really broke me because I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what to do next. And then before Nyla's surgery, my baby girl, we had a hurricane and my fence was damaged due to a tree falling. And that took me out. I was worried that I was going to be responsible for my neighbor's damage because the tree came from behind my house and fell into their yard on top of their house. The hurricane happened a week before Nyla's surgery, I want to say. It was a week before. It was right before. We had no power. I lost all my food. I had just purchased food to have so we could have it when we came back from the hospital because she was in the hospital for a week. So I had all that food here because we was going to be here in the house 6 to 8 weeks. So I purchased a lot of food for me, my mom, my sister, because they were here with me those 3 weeks, just for me to have to throw it out. So anyway, back to my neighbor. I was worried. That was like, oh my gosh, something else I got to worry about. I got to pay for the damages for their house. But I didn't realize until I reached out to my neighborhood group asking for someone to help me remove the tree and fix the fence that, oh no, since that tree belongs to the county because it's behind my fence. My house, I'm sure y'all seen videos of my backyard. My backyard has a bunch of trees behind it. I don't own those trees. I didn't know. I knew I didn't own the trees, but I didn't know. So I assumed responsibility for my neighbor's property. And I was like, I just cannot worry about it. Anyway, long story short, the county replaced my tree. They replaced my fence and they replaced my neighbor's stuff. And they cut the tree and took all that down, whatever. So that was one less thing I had to worry about. But that was after the fact. When it happened, I was like, I just can't win for losing, right? So anyway, I'm getting to a point here. So anyway, my neighbors, they just got back in their house in November. The hurricane happened in July. They just got back in their house in November. We're in February. So in my mind, I was crying because I'm like, that could have been me and my daughter. It was just so much. So just all that emotional toll and just feeling lost and alone because of my job. Because at my job, I also felt like I wasn't growing. I'm just telling y'all, it's just so much. So I'm getting to a point. So fast forward July, August, September, October, my mental state just declined to where I wasn't cleaning the house like I should. I was cleaning, but I was just doing the bare minimum. I wasn't doing the things I needed to do for my business. A lot of the things that I was supposed to be doing was postponed, put on the back burner. I just could not focus on it. My priority was my daughter and getting her back to her healthy state. The medical bills kept coming in. It was just so much, y'all. and I'm trying not to cry. My insurance covered a great amount of the medical bills, but when your medical bill for the hospital alone is $250, I ain't talking about $250. I'm talking about $250K plus for a week. So my job covered most of that. Well, my insurance covered most of that. But then there's other expenses that came from her other doctor's appointments after she has to go to the doctor, follow-up appointments for the rest of her life because she had a major back surgery. And the physical therapy, I'm still paying for physical therapy. She stopped going to physical therapy when we decided to have the surgery. I'm still paying for that. So I say all that to say, y'all, and you got the bills, I gotta take care of stuff around the house. So I just felt like, oh my God. And I felt like, man, I can't do my house. The point is that by the time January got here and I felt like I wasn't growing in my job, my expenses were exceeding my paychecks. I was like, Lord, something gotta shake. So I talked to one of my friends, like Rose, I always tell y'all about her. So she was helping me, she does my taxes. So I was sending her all my tax documents and just all of that. And I don't know how we got on a conversation of me feeling just lost and just over everything. And she encouraged me to join her Bible study group. And I immediately was like, yes, sign me up. And she's like, we actually are about to do a fast. And I didn't tell anybody about the fast until it was over. And her words to me exactly was, maybe you'll find clarity by just fasting, and that'll help you. So we did a Daniel's fast, and I've never done a fast like that before. So we didn't eat any food. I only ate when I went to my birthday brunch and when I went out to eat with my mom, because that was in the middle of my fast. But you only eat fruit and veggies. We had Bible study every morning at 6 a.m. Well, we had morning prayer at 6 a.m. We had Bible study every Monday, which we still do that. And drinking water, just all of those things. And then you just gain clarity. And in those moments, I felt so defeated. But I felt defeated. All of these things that I have done in my life, why do I feel like this? And I talk about that on my last video. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But I just feel like I was in a rat race with myself and no one else. What am I racing for? But then also at the same time, my finances were really my biggest depression, my finances. So I feel like I've been at this job for so long. I've been skipped over for promotions. I have these degrees that I'm not using. I felt all of that. So in the midst of my fast, I kid you not, I got a promotion. I'm not even lying, y'all. I got a promotion during my fast. Yes. I was like, what? And the crazy thing is, it's my job that I already do, but they did a reorg in my department because they realized that the work we do, we were not being paid what we should have been paid. So what I am trying to drive here is that breaking old patterns, and what I plan to do is to let go of worrying. That is my number one habit or pattern or whatever you want to call it that I need to let go of. When I did that fast, I just left it all, even when we had our morning prayers, and I'm trying not to cry. Oh my God. Even when we had our morning prayers, y'all, I honestly, I just feel like I've just been existing and not living and just forgetting what my purpose is in life. I forgot that. I don't know how that got lost, but it did. And everything that I've worked for never came easy. Everything that I've accomplished never came easy. So I'm always feeling like, why do I always have to work so hard? But then when it comes, I'm like, oh my God, it was so worth it. But I was just like, Lord, it just always something. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, I'm trying to bring the tears back up, but they just trying to come out on their own. Hold on, let me take a sip. But so that fast and just journaling and reading more books and just getting back to things that I like to do. I stopped decorating my house. The videos that y'all are gonna see from my house, I started those in July and August. It just said, forget it. So I'm getting back to decorating my house and doing things that I like to do, taking me and my daughter out to places. We got a new dog, so we're getting him in the groove of things. I just want to break those old habits of self-doubt, of worrying, of being overwhelmed, overcompensating. Literally sent me in a downward spiral to where I wasn't good enough, to where I felt like I wasn't accomplishing enough,
to where I felt like I had to try to keep up with whatever. Because this is the thing about me. I'm not one to compare myself to others. Never been that person. I'm too busy trying to over-accomplish for myself for whatever reason. I don't look at other people and be like, ooh, I wish I had that. I don't. I've never been that person. So I will say that confidently that I don't do that. However, what I do that's really bad is in the back of my mind, society said I have to do this. Society said I have to do that. But what do Brittany want to do? What do I want to accomplish? What do I feel is best? What is God leading me to do? What is my purpose? What is my journey? That is what I'm walking in to do. I'm no longer worrying about what I should be doing at the age of 35. By now, y'all, I thought I was going to be married. All of that. But that was another thing that I was dealing with was a heartbreak. That's a whole nother video. I'm not even going to talk about the heartbreak. We'll be here all day. But I was dealing with that and just trying to move on from that person because this person was not good for me. But I kept giving that person a chance because I kept trying to see the good in him, but he wasn't a good person. So that took a toll on me as well. So all of that combined, y'all, I'm letting go of letting shit slide. That's another thing. That's a pattern I am breaking. So that one came in real swiftly. I already told y'all in a previous video, I did a whole Rico sweep on my friends last year. And we'll talk about that in another video because people were not there for me, and that's fine. You know, people grow, outgrow each other, whatever. I'm not here to bash anybody because people were there in my life during the seasons they were supposed to be in, and vice versa for me. And there's no love lost with anybody I'm no longer friends with because they serve their purpose. And I'm breaking those patterns of allowing people to play with me, allowing things to slide. I have let so much things slide because I'm such a person that tries to turn the other cheek. But then when I no longer want to turn the other cheek and I snap, I'm the villain, I'm the mean girl. But before that, people was like, oh my God, Brittany, you helped me make so much money and you helped me get so much business. And that, but I'm a mean girl and I'm a villain. That's another video because, honey, we got a lot of tea on friendships and relationships. Those are going to be 2 separate videos because I got to debrief, y'all. I got to release and let go. But the patterns, like I said, that I'm breaking is just standing up for myself because I lost that in myself. When I was younger, baby, nobody could play with me. Nobody could ever play with me on nothing. So now, and you see it, it says, unless God sent you, I'm unavailable. And that's what we're standing on. So anyway, y'all, those patterns that I'm breaking and old habits that are not serving me, they gotta go. And I want you to look at your life and the things that you're not happy about and look at it and see what you're doing consecutively and then try to change that. So for instance, if you don't like the way you look, what could you do to change that? So for me, I have gained 30 pounds. So what I've been doing is going to the gym. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been going to the gym because I was going to the gym, but I'm trying to get Simon's schedule situated, which I have. So now that I have his schedule situated, I'm gonna go back to the gym. But that is why, because I had to pick him up from daycare. But now that I got that situated, I got someone who helps me, which is a pet center in my neighborhood. I'm gonna start going to the gym after my trip. But anyway, so that's an example. So if I don't like the way I look, then I need to start changing the way I eat. Need to start exercising, incorporating things that can help me look the way that I look. Whatever that looks like to you. Or let's say, for instance, you don't like the job you work at. You don't like the money you make. Start applying for jobs. If you feel like you're not making enough money, start looking for jobs. If you feel like you're not making enough money, but you like your job, well, try to ask for a promotion or a raise or do some side hustles. Or if you feel like you can do some things on the side to suffice for the income you're not making, do that. So it's just things like that. Or if you don't like that relationship, you have a conversation with the person. If things don't change, then move. So that's what I'm saying. We have to stop holding on to things and patterns and habits, because if you don't break those habits or those patterns, you're going to continue to make the same mistakes and you're going to continue to not be happy because you're not evaluating your life and you're not evaluating what you don't like about it. And that's just how it works. For instance, another pattern that I want to break and overcome in a bad habit, I would say, is my laziness, and my procrastination. Those are things that I want to change about myself, because those are all tied into my depression. What I have to do to change my laziness and my procrastination is basically, hold on, y'all. Holding that cup for that long. Child, I must be hot because I didn't even feel the coldness. Anyway, What I have to do to change my laziness and my procrastination is first make a plan. And this is what I'm doing personally. So I have a planner and it has a to-do list. So I'm writing out all of my to-dos. I did a complete brain dump. And I'm doing brain dumps, y'all, because I completely take everything out of my brain that I have on my mind that I want to accomplish, whatever. It can be as small as sweep the floor, up to I want to make $1 million, up to I need to go take the dog to the park, up to I got to call this place to set up this event. Just things like that. So I take all of that out of my head. Because when I realize I have so many to-dos, I get overwhelmed and I just don't do anything. And then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta hurry up and do this. So what I suggest for myself, and if you struggle with this as well, is doing a brain dump. And that's just pulling everything out of your head. Just pulling everything, writing it all out. And then I put my to-dos in 3 categories. I do personal, business, and career, because those are applicable to my life. If you don't have a business, then you would avoid that. But if you have personal and career, vice versa, whatever. And you just put all the to-dos in each category, no matter how big, how small, put it all there. And then for the week, you'll look at your week ahead, because I can't do a month because I'm gonna get overwhelmed. So I'll do the week. So for the week, I'm gonna say, what are the priorities for this week? It could be any of those. And I'm still gonna keep it in the category. Put that on a priority list of what we're doing for this week, and you work that list down. And be realistic about what you can do for the week. If you want to take it a step further, you can break that to-do list for the week into daily. Me, I can't do that. It's going to overwhelm me, and I'm going to jump from task to task. So what I do is I'm going to do my weekly task and cross it off based on priority. And that weekly tasks are my priorities, but then I'm going to make it what's priority for this, that, blah. Like I said, you can take it a step further and break it down daily, but it's just depending on your level of organization, right? So that is another habit that I'm breaking, because laziness and procrastination costed me some partnerships. So last year I was pitching to hotels and restaurants because that's what I do, that type of content. Well, I didn't even realize they responded to me. And at this point, should I respond to something that was sent 6 months ago? No. So going forward, we're breaking that. I am also breaking the bad habit of wanting to do everything and accomplishing nothing. Do you hear me? Wanting to do everything but accomplishing nothing. And what I mean by that, those to-dos I just told y'all about, I will literally have a to-do list and I'm trying to do it all on my own when I can hire someone to help me. So I actually did a job posting for an administrative assistant. I've been talking about this for a long time. And I actually told y'all that I read a book called We Should All Be Millionaires. I'll link that book below. Everybody should read it. It's not just about a business. It's just a mindset. So you better read that book, girl. I ain't playing with you. Anyway, read that book, and she talks about hiring an administrative assistant to do things you don't like to do. And I'm like, you know what? So much I do not like doing. And there's so much I can delegate. So a pattern and an old habit that I am breaking is trying to do it all by myself, because I'm not accomplishing anything and I'm running my head into a wall and it's just been jamming. Girl, we are delegating in 2025 and beyond. So I've already listed all my to-dos, personal, business, career. I've already taken some of those to-dos and put it on a list of what I feel like an administrative assistant can do for me. So I posted the position on my social media. Y'all, I have over 50 applicants. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. Side note, Threads is where it's at. I post anything on Threads and I get so much love on Threads. So I'm trying to hire someone ASAP because I want to get back to brand pitching and I need help with my events and just administrative work. They won't be handling my finances, but they'll be helping with social media, all of my administrative emails. It's so much I have to do, y'all. Like, oh, so much. So first step is number one, getting an assistant. Eventually, I would like someone to edit my videos. We ain't there yet. That's gonna cost big money and I can't do both. So I think what is more important is the assistant, because they can take those duties and those tasks that I just don't have the mental capacity for and can do it for me. So I'm excited about that. And if you're interested, it's a virtual position. It'll be linked below. Applications will close, I'm gonna say March 1st. Yeah, I wanna get somebody hired ASAP. So anyway, that's another one. So yeah, anyway, I can go on and on and on. So my homework for you and for myself, on the journal our thoughts, we're going to get all that negative, whatever we're feeling out. So we're going to get it out. Next, we're going to write down the things that we want to accomplish. And we're going to write down how we're going to accomplish those goals. And then I want you to look at what you're doing in your life that you can change to get to where you want to go. I'm sure there's so much we can do to reflect within ourselves, because this is about reflecting. None of us are perfect. So you can reflect on your life and look at what you're doing and how you can change it. Whether that's if you want to change the way you eat, if you want to change your career, if you want to start a business, if you want to make new friends, whatever. If you want to get out of that relationship, if you want to just work on being with yourself and only you, what do you need to do to change that? You're going to write that down and be honest with yourself. Do not be delusional and say there's nothing wrong with you, because girl, none of us are perfect. So just do that and leave in the comments if that activity helps y'all, because it has helped me. And it's something that I plan to do monthly, if not monthly, quarterly. I think quarterly is realistic to actually give yourself time to reflect. So let's do it quarterly, y'all. So just write those things down. Make sure you're writing your thoughts out. Take care of yourself. Set up them doctor's appointments. We're going to break them habits. Make sure y'all going to the doctor. Make sure you are getting a therapist. Whatever you need to do to work on yourself and do what you need to do in your life, make sure you do that. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what topics y'all want to talk about during this series. I already have so many because they're personal to me and starting over in my journey. But if there's anything you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. But until next time, I'll chat with y'all later. Bye-bye.